Oh, I can hear it still. It's so good. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff.
Let me hit
Dreams are made of right there.
D20, I think, has all the right angles to make the good noises.
Man.
This is it. This is gonna be the whole episode. It's just gonna be us.
I mean, that's just a fidget device right there.
Yes.
Oh, come on. I feel like this. I feel like this whole chat is going to be me writing down things I have to buy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big part.
That's a lot of my time on YouTube, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, Jack, well, you gotta get this thing, this doodad that's gonna make everything better.
You get us. Okay. Well, we didn't spend a whole lot of time on
on an outline this time.
because we knew that today was just gonna be what do we all feel like talking
That's
about.
why I'm pretty excited about this because it's compared to other podcasts I've been on, like the built-in meandering ADHD stuff is really like
It's legit, right?
I don't have to try to not do that.
Hi, Allison.
I'm Matt. Yes.
I feel like it's been a while. I don't know why, but we have definitely been experiencing ADHD as far as like our editing recently. But we've been keeping very busy, and we've been saving the good stuff for now. Well, wait. I guess we should tell you who we are. Oh, great. Here we go. Okay. Welcome to ADHd20. It's a podcast, Allison. What does this podcast do?
Well, Matt, it finds the intersection between ADHD
and Ttrpgs. Perfect.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, I'm super psyched about our guest today, Skyler, the ADHDM, who we're so honored and so excited to have today. Skyler's a YouTuber. He has ADHD. And he plays D&D.
It's like we were all meant to be friends.
It's like we were meant. It's like we were just. It's like it just happens. And we met, quote unquote, thanks to Jenny D. Right?
It's time for the story of us. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which sounds so much cooler than it actually is. But
It's time. It's time, everybody.
But yeah. Yes, what we have not been doing, if we haven't been recording podcast formats, we have been doing some reaction videos because I didn't know whether you knew about this, AK, but ADHD is so hot right now. It's so hot right now. I don't know why. It's just an explosion of Jenny D and the Dungeon Dudes, and everybody's just like busting out.
Well, and backing up before that, we had noticed, Skyler, your channel, because it's called the ADHDM. And so we were like, we're ADHd20. You're the ADHDM. And we already had like a little earmark, like we got to reach out.
Chocolate? Peanut butter?
Yes.
Two great tastes that taste great together. Exactly.
Damn it.
Yes, you get it. Speaking our language. So yes, so we were like, yeah, we're going to reach out to him. And then we posted the video and then you commented.
We're like, that's the ADHDM, because it was these videos that these creators are putting out are fantastic, I think, and speaking their truth like in the best way, and not all. I mean, saying some brand new things that I hadn't thought about, really. A lot of things that we talk about, and I know that you talk about, Skyler, but it's always cool when you have ADHD and you're validated a little bit. It's just always, it feels good.
We're absolutely gonna bust out the ADHD 100 table here in a minute and get underway, because we have some questions for you. If you have questions for us or just general topics you want to talk about, of course we want to hear about that. But give us just like a little baby download real quick here at the top of the show with, how you came about starting this fantastic channel, and a little bit of your background, your backstory, if you will.
My backstory. I have the urchin background.
Yes.
Do you really?
I'm one jump ahead of the breadline, at least.
Okay, Disney reference. We're best friends officially. I steal only what I can't afford, and that's everything.
That's everything. Wow.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, so my background, I don't really have a pre-YouTube like entertainment background other than like the Kirkland Signature brand theater kid setup, where I was never really like, I never really was front and center in any performances. I never really sought that out. I always like making my friends laugh and I edited anime music videos, none of which will ever
wow.
see the light of day again.
Amazing.
Except for one. There's one Linkin Park Naruto one that I've come back around on. That I was like, I'm liking this again, ironically, and I'm genuinely love the place that I made it from when I was like 14 or whatever.
Nice.
So seem to have infinite attention for editing, talking to a camera, not so much. So that's why you'll notice I have a lot of B-roll and I try to make a lot of interesting shots, and I try to come up with these characters because I tried the whole talking head thing where I was just like, I'm gonna let the force of my personality carry this. If Matt Colville can do it, then so can I. But my first attempts at that are all unlisted now. They're there. You can find them. They're in a playlist, but it's like I was learning about lights. I was learning about everything. That's everything.
Yes.
And it was, I think, 3 years ago now that I did make my first video, and I was like, I have ADHD. I like D&D. I think that other people with ADHD are also predisposed to like D&D because look at everyone around me. And it took me a little bit to find what I actually had to say in that space, because a lot of it was just like, you should try this, it's cool. And then it was like, okay, how do you read adventures? Because those things are written and put layout in maybe the worst way for my brain. And then it was like, I'm just gonna preach nonstop about the Arcane Library and Kelsey Dion because she has video walkthroughs and everything's on one page for each section. So like, and it's turned into let me use my hyperfixation superpower to dice up any given media, and so it can be put into the game.
Yep.
And that's really the kind of stuff that I'm focusing on now. But yeah, so like in very ADHD fashion, sort of fluttering around different methods for saying whatever I had to say, and I'm finally landing somewhere where I feel like I can look and sound like myself in front of a camera and microphone.
You really are, though. I mean, the stuff that you're doing is just so inventive, and I mean, it's so interesting, though, isn't it? That one of the things that we have to do with ADHD is not only figure out what we don't like doing or feel like we're not good at or is difficult for us. We have to like let go of what we think we're supposed to be doing, right? Like, so you said I probably could or should be Matt Colville, and then after a while you were like, no, I have to tell the story a different way, and I love it. It's so great. Your videos are so great. So
great. And it's interesting because when Matt and I were first trying to figure out how to come on the scene, we were like, do we have to do skits? Do we have to do dances? Like, do we have to like play multiple characters? And not that we don't want to. We love those things.
We don't know. Stacking cups. I don't know.
and then here you cut, so it's interesting how like that we were like, we're just going to turn on the camera and start talking because that's what we know how to do. And so I just love that there's so many different ways to go about
playing the same game.
We are, the same game. But it's so funny. I have the biggest game crush on Kelsey Dion.
It's true.
And I before Shadow Dark, really, I
like Shadow Dark is great, but I'm still like, go sign up for the mailing list and get the free 5e adventure now.
Seriously, yeah, and I get to run my very first Kelsey Dion adventure this weekend.
Which one is it?
I'm very psyched. It's Watchers in the Dark. That one.
That one freaking rules.
Yeah, I know.
Great, because I get to play in it.
Yahoo!
There's one, I forget what it's called, but it's like based on the Night on Bald Mountain in Fantasia. It goes so hard. I ran it, I think for like a Christmas one shot or something. It was just like
adding that to
I hadn't run yet, but it was like
add to cart.
That one was a lot packed into those small adventures. That one was crazy.
Wouldn't it be amazing if she had ADHD too, and we could all talk to her on her
another one for the team?
I've sent out those feelers before. I've had a couple conversations with her.
Yeah. Did you ask her outright?
I didn't ask her outright, no.
Okay.
But she also didn't mention it. So
we found like what we found with the dungeon coach. He came out and said it while DMing a game for us at Gary Con. He's like, "Yeah, my ADHD talking." We were like, "What?" And got him on the show.
Literally or like?
Let's pause and do the ADHD 100 table.
Thank you,
but Skyler, if you will do us the honor, but I want to see the dice again, please. Just
let me. Just in focus.
Yeah.
I feel great about this. This is looking good.
I do too.
Let me actually. I'm gonna pull focus a little bit. All right, that's 24.
Okay.
24. Okay, for people who are only listening to this, Skyler has a D10 that has a miniature D. No, is it a D decimal inside?
They're both just single digits.
Which is old school, right? Yeah. I remember back in my day,
we didn't have crayon our dice.
You actually did, but yeah, it's a D10 with a D10 inside, so you can just automatically roll the 100s, dude. So cool.
Interconnected side note: I got this from a teacher supply store, and the very first dice sets in Dungeons and Dragons were ordered from like a teacher catalog because it was like polyhedrons to teach your students.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I love this question. It hasn't been answered yet. And I love it's more ADHD focused than Ttrpg focused. I hope that's okay with you. The question is, how has your ADHD diagnosis improved your life?
Okay. Well, so it happened when I was very young.
Jealous.
And then I was told by not doctors that I had grown out of it. That was not true.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay. Interesting.
And my most like Arrested Development narrator voice, I didn't. And so I definitely returned after I got out of the Navy. I returned to which I got out of the Navy for very ADHD reasons. It was like, whoo!
Oh, that's on our list to ask you about. Yeah.
We caught that in our intro.
Yes, we did.
In our session 0.
In our session 0, yeah.
Session 0. So I was like, if I'm going to be like a functioning adult, I have to have a life that is built around this, really. And that sort of having that information and revisiting with a doctor the diagnosis and talking about like not only just medication, but lifestyle choices that I could make and ways that I could structure tasks with my psychiatrist and ways that I could structure like my home. And like many of us goblin-brained individuals, I spent just so much time on Jess McCabe's channel in the early days and really tried to, at work, at home, in the game, like just use these principles of like point of performance. Okay, I have to have, if I'm going to do something, the stuff that I need to do it needs to be out or I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to start it. I'm not going to switch to that task. So task switching is another thing where I'm like, I realize that I'm stuck between this task and this task because the act of switching is paralyzing me. So what is my like, how can I jumpstart it? And often it's like, I'll just listen to this anime soundtrack or, you know,
just sweep it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just something like fill my brain with some fresh dopamine and get out there. Or like, I'm going to put the good tasty salt in my water from this company. And it's going to make me feel I get a little treat.
I know that. What's the name of that salt?
I make my own now, but I used to get Element.
Element.
And
yes. You can make your own.
It's not it's not as good. It's not as good.
Okay. Well, but Element is really good.
Apparently I'm missing out on salt talk and need to get in on that.
We're all missing out on salt.
Electrolytes are big, like getting me whether it's like coconut water or a Gatorade or just like putting electrolyte salts in my water. Like that's a huge ADHD help thing that I do. What's the word? It's not a treatment. I don't know. A remedy?
Remedy?
It's just a nice thing that I like to do.
An
bonus
ADHD
action?
potion.
A potion.
Yes.
A poachable.
Potion.
So before I was like really identifying, and I'm also autistic. which I was also told when I was a kid, and then one of my parents was
that went away too.
No.
But did you grow out of that too?
That's not true. And I was like, all right, I believe you. You're an adult.
And I oop.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time figuring out like what if I'm like a continent of many kingdoms, like what are the main exports of the kingdom of ADHD, and what are the main exports of the kingdom of autism, and where do the kingdoms overlap? So I just like not feeling shame anymore about when I do have a lot of enthusiasm for something and I can't go do it infinitely. It's like, oh, I can't go, just think about Castlevania laying in the grass for 100 years right now. Right. And so starting to like pepper it into my life in other ways. So it's like, okay, I can listen to the what was it called? The Dracula Project or whatever, this like 90s rock album
on of the music, the remix
of like Din and Vampire Killer and
I'm writing
Naoto Shibata. Is that Naoto Shibata Project? I gotta know.
Maddie, you know that we're recording this, right?
Right. Yeah, but
yep,
I know.
Naoto Shibata Project, formed by heavy metal bassist Naoto Shibata.
Wow. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, that's very important to the story.
I think so.
I can like.
No, it is actually because what you're saying is you would rather be playing this game, and you know that you have things to do. So what can give you just a tiny bit, not the real thing, not the full thing, just a tiny bit to kind of at least get you psyched. That's legit.
So it's like I can't watch Haikyuu right now, but I am drinking out of my Japanese sports drink water bottle that is
for future, Skyler. Yeah. Okay. We did both write on our possible questions for you. The Navy. In the Navy. So
that song is banned in the Navy.
Yes. Yep. I'm sure that entire band is
as
banned.
Well as the movie Battleship.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
And on board one ship, Magic the Gathering, and that's my fault.
Okay, all right, then just start there. Then,
if, there it is.
If the Navy itself is a touchy subject in any way, that's totally understandable. I just haven't met that many people that have
I'm pretty open about it. So I was medically separated pretty much because I was autistic, and the staff that I was working with were very straightforward with me, like, hey, we're going to make this your call.
Okay.
Do you feel like without any further accommodation, you can keep doing the things that were being asked of you? And it was like just a lot of days, it was work that I was capable of. But the conditions were like really inconsistent schedule, not really sleeping a lot. And I had some family medical problems come up, and I just sort of burned out hard and became like a lump, and went through the hospital and got my official autism stamp. Okay. And if you get 5, then they send you a copy of Sonic 2 for Sega Genesis. And I came home with a lot of information about what kind of life I'm suited for and what life I'm not. Like the stuff like being on deployment or being in boot camp or like, any of the like dumb, long, monotonous, like I was great for all that. Yeah. It was just these really chaotic transitory periods where I had to do training for something new, where it was like, my brain's not going to absorb anything.
Yeah.
And just feeling a lot of shame, feeling really defeated and inadequate,
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to talk to a pretty awesome chaplain and some awesome therapists. Mm-hmm. And if anyone listening to this is in the military right now and really not feeling like you're being nourished, like you're being seen, it is difficult. Even if it's not difficult in the ways that are like romanticized, like it's boring at times. And even if you don't feel like you have the option to, I'm not saying like everyone get out of the military right now.
Right.
Because for some people it really works, and it's their, put in their 20 and then they retire, or they go into a civilian field that overlaps with their MOS or rate. But there are resources available to you medically and with your chaplain that can make things easier.
Okay.
And often just like telling someone like, whoa, I feel like a freak because I know I'm supposed to be able to do these things and I just can't. Like, someone can literally be screaming in my face and I just can't do it. Like,
wow,
you are not a problem, but you do have some obstacles.
Mm-hmm. But did you join because this structure, or is it did you have family influence to join, or you have family members, or I'm just curious about like, how did you get there?
My lease was up and I needed a place to live.
Right, the urchin.
Yes, urchin background. There it is.
Barracks.
Okay.
Sounds great.
I was like, where I can live? The open sea.
Yeah. I'd like to go hop in a submarine.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No subs.
Okay.
You got to volunteer for that.
Gotcha.
Whoa. Okay. There's just so many things I don't know about it. I did not really come from a military background. But yeah, that's also a totally valid reason. Hey, the lease is up. I don't want to pay for rent ananymore. Let me.
Well, and there was I don't know. I think it was somewhere that I was working out, and there was a Navy recruiter who was
Good at
just
their
persuasive,
job.
going around talking to everybody, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, And actually, first I went to go talk to the Marines, and then they told me that I couldn't pick my job until I signed the contract. And I was like, no.
Oh.
So I went next door, and the Navy was like, yeah.
And then you got Magic the Gathering band.
Yeah, we want to hear that story.
Yeah.
So I won't say the name of the ship or the commanding officer.
That's okay.
Probably
The
for the
executive
best.
officer who made that decision.
Okay.
But there was, let's call it an infrequent space of the ship. That was a sonar technician.
Okay.
Infrequent space of the ship that sonar technicians use, but not often. So it wasn't often checked. And so being the cheeky little ne'er-do-wells that we were, me and the person who was kind of mentoring me,
The urchins.
the urchins, the street rats, the scoundrels,
The rapscallions. That's my favorite one.
the derelicts, we gathered in our filth in this space. And you had to go like down 2 ladder wells, down a hatch, like down a P-way. It was like
Cool.
off the beaten path. And naturally, you don't really have any bills when you live on a ship. And so we spent a bunch of money on Magic the Gathering booster boxes, which is stupid. Buy singles. Buy a couple packs to get your fix, to smell get the cardboard crack. Then buy singles. Figure out what deck you want. Anyway. I don't know who I'm addressing here, but you know that you need this. This is an intervention.
He's talking to you.
So we played a lot of Magic, and we made a lot of commander decks. It was called Elder Dragon Highlander then.
Nice.
And no one played it at game stores yet on Friday nights or Monday nights. That is a privilege of the modern era. But we played perhaps too much. Perhaps enough that our absence was noted by the powers that be. And I think it was just like the wrong day. And previously, some things had happened where the whole last crew in that division was had to leave the Navy.
Oh no!
And we were kind of under like a microscope sometimes.
Sure.
And it just so happened that the hatch opened. I was expecting the 4th friend to come and play Magic with us, and it was the executive officer of the ship. And we were like, very well. This is end of an era.
Okay, but the question I have, which I guess were you doing something, like was there something else you were supposed to be doing, or were they just
There's
kind of
something else we could have been doing.
Okay.
I see.
Okay.
It wasn't like we weren't Tom Sawyering it.
Okay.
But like diet sugar free Tom Sawyering it. Like
If you have time to lean, you got time to clean. If you have time to battle card-based ways, you have time to clean. I don't know.
Yeah, you have time to clean.
Yes.
You have time to. I think I had some like paperwork I had to fill out and some training I had to have people sign off on.
Got it.
So it was like, it wasn't like, skipping watch, but it was like, not doing your homework level
Okay.
of shirking.
Shirking. Oh man. Well, I'm sorry that.
I can play Magic wherever I want now, and I can go to the bathroom whenever I want. That's pretty cool.
You're disproving
wherever
one of my theories because
I can't go to the bathroom.
No, yes. I think about that often. You have no idea. I kind of formerly thought that people were either Magic the Gathering people or D&D people, because that's how it was in my junior high and high school. The two nerd groups were very to the point where they were both they were all in band, of course, but it was kind of like the trombone players versus the trumpet players, and they got into a fight in the band.
I'm a
room
euphonium
once.
player, baby, the best of both worlds.
Right? They got into a fight in the band room once, and one of them stabbed one of the other ones with a pencil over Magic versus D&D. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up.
Yikes.
Alabama's a weird place to be from, y'all.
You're both just paying Wizards of the Coast.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. But so that's my, I am not, and every Magic player that I do know IRL, which aren't very many, don't want to mess with D&D. And most D&D players that I know.
And vice versa.
Yeah. It's none of us swing both ways on that one.
When I played in high school, Magic was we're waiting for everyone to get here kind of game. Magic and Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Because you could just bang, 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 bang. It's super quick. No 3 to 4 hour jaunts.
Yeah, as long as there's only a couple players.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's 3 to 4 hour turns while you figure out how to resolve somebody's knowledge pool stack.
Wow.
Anyway,
you got Magic Band, and then you found the right chaplain and people to say, actually, maybe this isn't the right fit for you.
Unconnected incidents.
Unconnected.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Wait.
Right. Of course.
Wait,
dun, dun, dun.
largely unconnected incidents.
The accommodation that you mentioned earlier was not, can you get on without playing Magic, is what you're saying.
Right. Yes.
Right. It wasn't, you can't open booster packs in Sonar 1 anymore.
But you got off the boat and you found a place to live, and now you're able to pee anywhere and anytime you want.
I'll never tell.
All I'll say is this. We've now been on video with you twice, and twice you've had the same background. So I'm not trying to connect dots that aren't there, but...
Yeah, it's a picture I took 6 years ago.
It could be.
Green screens are pretty cool.
No, I live somewhere. I have a wife. I have 4 cats. They also live somewhere. It's the same place that I live.
Okay, good.
Wild.
Good. I'm glad.
I never thought I'd get this far, honestly. Genuinely, though, I did not think that I would make it past 25 as a functioning human being. That was a big part of just not accepting or recognizing or knowing about much in the way of living with ADHD. Mm-hmm. And that all sounds really heavy, but it's also really rad. Because it's a lot harder to take for granted that I have a job that isn't shift schedules. It's 9 to 5, which I can build everything around. That I get 8 hours of sleep a night, more or less. That I can generally predict when I'm going to be burned out. Those are all privileges that did not exist for me for the first couple decades of my life.
Oh yeah. I
felt the same. 40 was my age that I had a moment of there was a time when I didn't know I'd get here. Just full honesty about that.
But the synchronicity is amazing because my friend Nathan, who also has ADHD, he literally just said this to me. Is there something about people with ADHD? Is there something where we all think that we're going to be dead at 25, 30? 40. I did, for sure. I did not expect to live past 30 at all. And I don't even know where that comes from. But Nathan too did not expect to make it to 30 either. You're saying 25.
I mean, that's
it's not just a teenager thing, is it? It's I think it's because exactly what you said, Skyler.
Yeah.
We're coping so hard and we don't even realize how hard we're coping. We're just like, well, A plus B equals death. I mean, how can we possibly make it? How can we possibly fit into society? Period.
I had and I have a theory about that.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of trouble visualizing things, especially visualizing changes or visualizing the finished product of something. Like I have to do a lot of sketching. I have to do a lot of even just like writing out, like, here's what I think this is going to look like. And to the point that and my mom was super cool and accommodating with ADHD. She did a lot of reading about it when I was a kid.
Amazing.
And then when I didn't live with her anymore, that didn't happen. But so she would be like, here's a picture of your room when it's clean. If you make your room look like this picture, and I'm like, that's easy. That's way cooler than clean your room.
That's a great idea.
Not having the ability, or rather it being very hard to visualize, like, what is life going to be like when I am an adult and everyone in the whole world is just saying things like the old boring 9 to 5 and you do the same thing every day and you just like work hard and don't complain until you die.
Yeah. You think, well, there's just
I'm not in that picture.
That is absolutely not possible. I mean, and it is interesting. I feel like the three of us have gravitated to jobs that are absolutely not that.
Yeah.
I mean, we do try to work from 9 to 5. We have a business and we work together and we try to work from 9 to 5, but it is never going to be going to an office. And I would say to my wife who saw me struggle with worrying about money and the hand to mouth thing, and she would say, well, what if you did get a job? And so I did, and I was totally right. I hated it. It was terrible. I knew exactly what it was going to be like, and it was exactly that. Yeah. And it's funny that that you just gravitate to that, and that's how we survived.
Yep. There is something to that, though, backing up, Skyler, what you said about like not being able to like picture myself in it, because that's exactly what it was. Like I remember as a teenager, my friends having these visions of like, I want to be a mom, I want to be a wife, I want to be, and they would, insert this thing that they knew that they wanted to do for their whole entire life. I want to be like
fixed
teacher.
Point of identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't identify with any of those things. Just, even like stuff like as a 42-year-old woman now, I don't own a house and I don't care, but like, and I most of the time I can't see myself owning a house. And I remember as a teenager thinking apartments are cool. Like, like I can't wait to live in an apartment. That's about as much like future proofing as I did as a teenager. I don't think I want to live in a house. I think I want to live in an apartment. That's as far as I got. I had
played a game of MASH and you were like, apartment?
Yes, all right. I did. I was happy in that apartment. Apartment seemed cool. Houses felt
Married
scary.
to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Done.
Driving a Gremlin.
Down for all of those things. Yeah. I wanted that really cool like Volkswagen van,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're totally, and I'd never like connected that to my ADHD, why I could never, and even now, like the work that I'm doing now with Matt and Evan is the longest I've ever done any one thing. Mm-hmm. I've always switched jobs like clockwork every 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed, and I'm not. But I remember one time walking into an interview for a job I did want, because that was the different. I think Matt, because you had like the taste of freedom first,
I did.
as a touring musician for the formative adult years, whereas I left college. I didn't get a 9 to 5. I got a traveling job, where I dressed up like a Coca-Cola polar bear and sang karaoke. But I digress.
Man.
And I remember
That sounds amazing.
I remember when I got into my first office job about a year after that being like, I know where I'm going to be next Tuesday. That's wild. But the novelty soon wore off, right? Yeah. But I remember I was probably somewhere in my like late 20s, early 30s interviewing for a job that I did want. And the hiring manager, recruiter, whoever it was, basically like asking, like posing at me as if it was bad or wrong that I had different jobs every couple of years. And it was the first time it dawned on me that that was a negative thing. And and thankfully, because of that like honest reaction I had, I got the job. I was like, how is that a bad thing? I have learned several different skill sets. I'm more aware of what I'm great at and what I don't want to do. And so when I'm standing here before you today in this interview telling you I want this job, I feel assured of telling you and being honest about that. And I remember her being like, oh. Because usually that's the like, that's like the getcha answer. Like that's how they eliminate, people from, and it never dawned on me that it was a bad thing. But, people will be like, celebrating their 10 and 15 and 20 year anniversaries at places. And I'm just like, that gives me anxiety. Like I well up when they say that they've been doing the same thing for 10, like I get anxiety for them.
Yeah.
I really feel the same way about the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it is something that, I think anybody doing something like this has almost given up maybe 1,000 times. But like where you're just like crashing off of meds and hungry and haven't showered and you're looking at YouTube analytics or whatever. And
my God, you too?
And somebody comments like something so indecipherably obscure.
Yeah.
Like a combination of words that don't add up to mean something. And you're like, oh, I don't know what this is, but this is bad. It's real bad.
I'm done.
So, but being able to actually seek out, like, I'm going to learn something new to make this video. I'm going to, I just watched this movie. I'm going to copy this shot. I just, played Ryutama. I'm going to talk about Ryutama. Like it being just a container where I can pour my hyperfixations.
Yes.
Typically, work isn't like that. I had a brief stint as a personal trainer, and I still design programs, but I don't do in-person training anymore. And that was pretty cool because my hyperfixation at that point was I had some pretty gnarly knee injuries, and I kneehabbed my way out of them without surgery. Not saying you shouldn't get surgery if you need it, but I was stoked about that. And I was like, this is a tool I can use to help people. And it was like a lot of people whose insurance wouldn't let them have physical therapists. So it's like, so they get me. So I'm learning a lot about like corrective exercise and how to help people build towards their strength goals. I got really into like, how can I help this person like build their body for their sport if they're a figure skater or a baseball player? Wow. And eventually like I don't have a driver's license. So my wife driving me to the most scattered, most like people are flaky for personal trainers too. So it's like, drive me to the gym I work at. And then I wait for 2 hours and they show up late. Mm-hmm. But I really want their, $200 or whatever, depending on. And so it was just like not really sustainable for the us who live here. And it was really, I was working a couple other jobs too. Like I was a barista and I was doing something else. YouTube, that's what it was. So like, but that kind of work where it's like, I can get excited about whatever I'm excited about and then just move on it. Like I don't have to wait for someone's permission. Right. I don't have to like, if I'm washing dishes at a restaurant, which I have done many a dish, pretty much if I can have my headphones in, it's the coolest job ever. If I can't, it sucks. So it's like when you go work somewhere and the culture changes and it's like, we're a no headphones place now because I called your name once and you didn't answer. It's like, I wouldn't have answered without my headphones because I'm washing dishes. But anyway. Is that a specific story? Is that too specific?
No, love it. That's 100%. I have two follow-ups to that. Number one, in the world of seeing things that you like and then trying to copy them in video. I did watch 4 Right Ways to Prep D&D, 4 DMs, 1 Prompt.
Yeah.
Corkboards and Curiosities, who I also have a huge crush on. But it starts off in such a way, and it reminded me very much of one of our very favorite shorts called Too Many Cooks.
Too Many Cooks.
Okay.
Oh, my sitcom intro. Yeah, that was very. I'd actually also been watching some Family Matters.
Sure. So you went to the original.
I went to the archives.
Nice.
The Nick at Night specials, and and Too Many Cooks.
I will just
It's great.
text Matt and his wife sometimes.
Yeah, just
Takes
too
a
many
lot to
cooks.
make a stew.
And I will like cover myself in blood and crawl across the kitchen
Yeah.
floor to hit it like a ball.
Commit to the bit.
Yeah,
You got to do it. But that was
Too Many
the
Cooks.
that was the beginning. My second was how close are you these days in making this your thing, your only thing? Are you
like how many milestones away am I?
Yeah.
Um,
And you don't have to say specific. I mean, I'm just curious. Like, are you getting closer? Is it?
I'm getting closer.
Yeah. And that's got to drive you forward, right? Because you're, the goal is to, again, as you've said, to try to put the things that are far more difficult to do in the rear view mirror, so that you can, do the things that you want to do.
The Ghibli video was a milestone in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And number one, I figured out how to film a CRT television screen without it flickering. That's huge for me.
That's huge.
Right. Second, the Kickstarter I was working with, Homie and the Dude, and specifically I'm working with Tom. Tom and Bodhi are like the father and son Ttrpg talking duo, and they're just awesome people. Like, I've been on their podcast. We've talked some privately. I gave them a little shout out for their other book, Sky Zephyrs, which is like my favorite. I'm not about to drop an affiliate link, I swear. I just like this. On someone else's podcast. So, like,
Please do,
Show notes,
yeah.
we do not care.
Yes.
Just the way that they, the relationship that they have together as father and son is like, makes me grieve a little bit for not being very connected or aware, or like even in a place where I can be that vulnerable with my parents,
Yeah.
Because there's just too much backstory there.
Yep.
Sure.
We need to play through a lot of family D&D to untangle all of that.
Yep.
And second, they're just like, they're so sincere in believing that what they're making is just the coolest thing, and it translates to the things that they're making. So they did this book called Sky Zephyrs, and it's like it's airships mostly, but it's also like they have rules that were unlocked in the stretch goals for, like, I think there's a mech. There's like a little shipbuilder, kind of like the Comp Con for Lancer, where it's like a totally online thing where you build your own ship and it spits out a stat block for you and like a token. And like vehicles and 5e has always been a thing that I've like gone so many directions on. I've tried the Spelljammer stuff. I've tried the Ghosts of Saltmarsh stuff, and I'm just like, this is lame. So I reached out to them because I was like, this is awesome. And then they were like, hey, we're doing a Ghibli thing. And I was like, I'm about to make a Ghibli video. And so I was able to talk about that Kickstarter with a lot of sincerity. I wasn't, because like I've done the like read ad copy thing before, and it sucks. I hate it. Like ad copy written by someone else, and they're like, we really want you to say these words that no human being in their right mind would ever utter in conversation.
Yep. It's painful.
And so that affiliate link did very well, and their share of that was very generous. And so that became me sort of understanding, like, oh, this is I know what I'm doing is worth.
Yeah.
And talking to RB, who's the Deficient Master.
Yes.
He's been talking me through some like sponsor stuff, and we've just been picking each other's brain about DaVinci Resolve and other things. Nice. But just like all these people stepping in to say, like, hey, what you're doing has probably more value than you think right now, because like you're not seeing the big numbers that you associate with, people living all these digital nomads who are like getting, $6,000 in super chats every time they go live.
Yeah.
Right.
But like to sponsors who have more money than you think they do for this kind of stuff, like here's kind of what this is worth. And so seeing that, and like seeing ad revenue start to come in, and it's not all just about money. Like if it was, then I would keep catching IT certifications like Pokemon and try to like speedrun becoming a senior engineer where I'm at right now.
Right.
Okay.
But the surety, like, because like nothing is certain. I don't think there's such thing as certainty. But I've gotten a peak that makes it easier to have faith.
Yeah.
That there is a version of my life where I think that it's like Peter McKinnon said something like, I opened AdSense and saw a quarter, and I knew if there was a quarter, there could be $1. And if there's $1, there could be 100, there could be 1,000.
Yeah.
I could pay bills with this. And it's to the point where it's like, oh, I was able to pay like a bill.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I could pay all my bills.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
And also seeing the other path where it's like there are people who are just like all the light and life leaves their face as they face the camera and they tell you, I love eating Factor meals more than I love my wife. Like it. And then there, people like Jacob Buds over XP to level 3 whose ads are like legendarily good.
Yes.
Like he could sell me water at a beach.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be into it.
Yeah.
Could sell ice to an Eskimo.
He's got like this, I don't know if he likes this comparison or not, but a very like Jack Black panache energy that just explodes.
Yeah.
Or it's like almost like Kramer. Like it's just so kinetic. And
he was actually the first TTRPG YouTuber that I like followed when I was a brand new little baby player and Googling things like, how do I build a sorcerer? How do I play a sorcerer that doesn't suck?
And his first like 12 videos, I think, were the 12 classes, and then like one about Matt Mercer, and then he was like, all right, I'm going to do me now. And that was
And they were both helpful and had like the personality, and that was when I started to like see the
I
light.
abandoned the oath.
Yep, exactly. Of like, oh, you can just let your freak flag fly in here. Like you don't have to be any one.
It's actually much better
if you do.
if you do. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Except for some of you freaks out there, you know who you are.
Yeah. Watch yourself. Don't look them directly in the eye.
Jerks players.
Matt, he's not talking to us, right?
I hope. Probably is. Kelly of the Dungeon Dude said in a panel that we saw last year, like, it is all of the work that you just mentioned, and then it is almost entirely just which quarter you put into the slot machine. Yeah. It is going to be like, if you keep doing what you do and you love it, and I mean, and he said every year there's going to be one or two, I guess, not just one, but
1d4.
1d4. It's going to be 1d4 people that their voices are heard and loud, and it feels like you and Deficient Master and Corkboards and Curiosities, this ushering in of a new super brainy DMGM player thing, and
Degrassi, the new generation.
I'm just so here for it. I'm just so psyched about it. It's like so. I mean, everybody, y'all are getting so like high level. And of course, it's all inspired by the people who think that way all the time. But the way that it's trickling down, like the Brennans and Matt Mercer, of course, but like these people that live it. And now the reason I asked this question is, how close are you to being able to be, your own
part
Brennan?
Of that world?
Exactly. And it's got to be close because
I wish I brought my bingo card today.
But yeah, it feels like y'all are really onto something. It's just so fun and so great to watch.
I can see the mountain. I don't know how many steps to the top.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
But I will be Wizard King Hokage. I'm gonna get there.
Good.
Because
good.
I'm a freak, and nobody can outwork me when the goblin is alive.
Yeah. I love that you're calling your ADHD goblin brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that kind of then moves me into one of my questions for you, which was,
yes, please.
You speaking of reading ad copy, you did a great little video ultimately leading up to selling some pants.
Yeah. Dress Code was the working title. I don't remember what I ended up calling it.
And it was a fun video. I identified with much of it because I do name the voices in my head, and like Anxiety has her own personality. I named her Felicia so I could tell her goodbye, things like that. And so you had kind of set that one up with like, ADHD's here, anxiety is, and then in came the hero of our tale, the core self.
Core self.
And
he wears a denim jacket with a Weird Al pin on it.
That's a good Texas accent too.
I'm from Texas. That's just how I talk around my wife's family.
Yeah.
My driver's license, I'm working on it,
Yeah.
So I want to, I kind of want to talk about that for a minute, because that, like I said, it got me. I felt like seen and heard, and that's something that Matt and I talk about a lot on this show, is creating this empathetic space where we can all feel seen and heard for however we want to come, whatever we want to be wearing, whatever we were going to be dressed in. How have you gotten in touch with your core self? Because of, in spite of, however you want to frame it, with ADHD, autism, and everything else.
Therapy, lots of therapy. But also there are some workbooks that, my biggest obstacles to core self are, in a very growing up Southern Baptist way, shame.
Yeah.
They are comparing myself to others. So shame and comparison, and then just a feeling of not belonging, which comes with an assumption that there is there's like a right way that I'm supposed to be fitting in.
Yeah.
Brene Brown's book, Gifts of Imperfection, is, my wife and I are rereading through it right now. I think it's going to be like an annual retreat of ours to like go through each guidepost and chapter.
Yes.
And it's like learning to see these parts of yourself as not you. My wife's anxiety is called Lorelei, because, like Lorelei Gilmore, it talks very fast and it needs carbs.
It needs coffee.
Yeah, carbs and coffee. Coffee. And
yeah, I think I have a little Lorelei in me too.
Yeah,
say that.
Mine's more of a Taylor. Just like, here's how everything has to be, and if it's not, then it's all ruined.
Total sidebar, by the way, Taylor Dosey is one of my favorite characters to base NPCs on. He's a great kickstart.
If the hand wringing town elder is like, a Taylor Dosey, that's perfect.
So great.
But yeah, recognizing that these are not me. These feelings of shame, those are not domestic products of my existence or of my identity. And the moment of it becomes, when you learn to compartmentalize those things, when you realize, oh, what I'm feeling is shame. What I'm feeling is imposter syndrome. What I'm feeling is, these are anxious thoughts. These are, this is ADHD having trouble with task switching. Like learning to see, whose banners are flying from what nation in the boundlessness of me is a moment of power, because even it's like, oh, it sucks because I've been sitting here watching, I don't even remember or know what, on YouTube for the last 2 hours because I accidentally clicked on shorts.
Guilty.
And here I am. It's the reason I don't have TikTok installed.
Yes.
Because it's just like instant, like, whoop, shit, whoop. It's like, I do want to hear what sound that slime makes. Thank you.
Every time.
Hydraulic press. Don't mind if I do. Red hot copper ball. Let's do it. Parts work. Identifying parts of yourself. Oh, realizing like, oh my God, I said I was going to do this one thing and then did this other thing for a long time. Or, I have to cancel on some friends because I'm really tired and I'm feeling really ashamed, and like naming those things and being like, oh, I am feeling shame. I am feeling stuck here. I am feeling, whatever. That gives you an opportunity, or at least it gives me an opportunity. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you have the only brain that can't be helped by therapy. That's just me talking to my inner authority issues. Like, nobody's going to tell me what
Right.
So being able to sit across from that and be like, all right, buddy, listen, we got to talk. I know what you need right now. Or like, tell me what you need right now. Like ADHD, what do you need right now? And ADHD is like, I need a tattoo. I'm like, we can't go get a tattoo right now. Okay. I need a sticker. It's like, okay, we can get a sticker. We can put a sticker on the water bottle. We can do that. Or like, I need you to put on this movie in the background. So I'm not going to we'll watch the movie if we do that. You realize this. It's a trap. Okay. Put on ambience from that franchise. Okay. I can do that. we'll do the Star Wars ambience or whatever.
You really have taken this whole like kingdom imports, exports, bartering, and trade agreements to just stellar levels, and I can't wait to steal this.
It's like, I need timber. So I don't have timber. I have sheep.
I'd never thought about bartering with myself like this.
I want this game. I would play this game.
Just like some sort of Jungian Catan.
Yeah, yes. The kingdom of Skyler. And I don't want my chief export to be anxiety and imposter syndrome. So what can I grow in its place? Oh man, we could just spend hours. I'm rabbit holing real bad, y'all. Pull me back in, please.
But like the name of the game is like, I need something right now and I don't have it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So but when I'm seeking something in its place, like doom scrolling about like generative AI art or something, it's like watching the Hello Future Me video and being like, yeah, we are all doomed. I love that video though. It's pretty good. But just like these moments of, I better financially plan the next 4 years,
right?
Because really what I want to do is like jot some numbers into the savings column and see like, well, in 4 years I could have this much. That makes me feel good right now, so I'll go buy this thing.
Right.
Like how am I self-soothing? Numbing, I think, is what Brene Brown calls it in Gifts of Imperfection. But how are you numbing? How are you? What emotions are you actually turning away from in order to engage in this behavior? Because every time that I've looked, every time I've turned towards that thing and been like, okay, what do you need? The answer has never been like to sit here afraid for the rest of my life, or to be racked with shame. Shame is never useful, or necessary. It's a byproduct of like just not looking something in the eye and being like, I accept you.
Yeah.
No asterisk. Little asterisk. I accept you even though you suck right now. The kind of things that you tell a pet or a very small child, like, I love you, but you're driving me crazy.
Yes.
I'm glad you can't understand me right now.
Exactly. The story of my life.
This?
Yes. Yes, he is listening.
I wave at animals and it always makes my wife laugh.
My wife will actually, in a crowded restaurant that allows dogs, will try to summon someone else's dog that I know they do not want to be summoned over. She'll just sit there and say,
come here.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a terrible idea. Please don't.
And that's why Lindsay is a druid.
She's a druid, exactly. Yeah. And this channel, this journey that you're on has helped with processing of all of these things.
Oh yeah. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it comes in threes. I make like one video that's like really just straightforward, informative, maybe very heavily edited, and then I make one video that's like, ooh, that made me really tired. Let me put one out that's like less work and maybe a little more formulaic, and then it's like, aha, here comes number 3, the vulnerable burnout video. And there's one in particular that's on there that has nothing to do with tabletop role playing, really.
Yeah.
And I realize now it's like, that's something I need. I've got to make that. I have to make something from the angry place. I have to make something from the tired place. I have to make something from the hopeless place.
Yeah.
Because making something gives me what I need to make other stuff. Yeah. It's when I get caught up in like, I've got to get ready to do things. Getting ready to get ready to get ready. So like getting ready to do things is not doing things. And if I'm in a place where I'm doing that, it means I need to rest. And whenever I'm the most burned out, bottom of the barrel, like nothing left, pretty much all I can do is like write poetry. Wow. And the poetry that comes out is not like fun YouTube channel stuff, but it is seeds for like, okay, this is how I'm working through something.
Right.
And or like
it's a moment in time.
A couple years ago, I had to write a whole novel. It's like I just have to dump out, like I can't bottle up the feelings and try to do something that isn't letting those out.
Right.
And so we get, the third act of the video where I talk about grieving for my great grandma, or the whole video where I talk about feeling like an imposter among human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be vulnerable without making it a joke because there's something terribly wrong with me. But
wow, that was so meta what you just did.
We love it.
Love it.
Layers.
It's funny though that you turned this corner, because one of the other parts of our outline for today was right before you hopped in here with us. Matt and I were consoling one another as we both rapidly approach burnout. Like, I can feel it coming, and yet I can't figure. Thank you, Phil. I can't. I know all I need right now is to unplug. Like, stop staring at my phone, stop tuning into our Discord, stop checking our YouTube analytics, stop coming up with TikTok and Instagram content. I can't. I know that that's all I need to do, and I can't unplug. I cannot enter that. But I think you just brought up an interesting point that maybe I should try of like, what is the other outlet that I could channel that creative energy into, even if it's shitty, like even if it's bad, because it's not for because it's not for anybody else. It's for me to like move that energy elsewhere for a fact, so I can adequately replenish the creative stores I need to do this stuff that I so desperately want to do, but know that I'm not going to be able to if I reach and complete burnout.
Here's one for your bingo card, because I'm about to get a little woo-woo.
Let's do it! I love a woo-woo corner.
I really like Ram Dass. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but he went to India, came back in the 70s, I think. He did a lot of acid. But after that, he was like hanging with Timothy Leary at Harvard. They both got kicked out together, I think, of faculty. But anyway, that's not why I'm talking about it.
Set the scene.
He went over to India and lived the spiritual life and came back and really talked a lot about mindfulness and being present. And so this is someone who had a background in psychology and neuroscience, I think, and applied that through this lens of spirituality and mindfulness, and came out as something with like, hey, I'm going to deliver this to the Western world in a way that makes sense and doesn't just sound like somebody trying to sell them like snake oil. And with anything like that, there's some stuff like anytime it brushes up against something dogmatic, I just sort of the liver of my soul filters that out. But it which also needs to be cleansed sometimes. Sometimes that liver's done a little bit too much work.
Amen. Yeah.
And he talked a ton about us being here is not really you and me being here. It's like we're both holes in the curtain and the same light is peeking through. And so when we can see, that's my clumsy metaphor, whatever he said was probably better. So when we see that in another person, it's really important to not try to other it, to not try to put all these labels and rules on it, to not be like, you are a Sooners fan, or you are a, I don't know why football metaphor was the first place my brain went. I don't really watch football.
Matt does that too.
I wouldn't know what you were talking about anyway. So
cool. I caught the reference. Roll Tide.
The real juice, the good stuff, the source of infinite energy is like that moment where you recognize like that ambulance that's driving by is annoying, but there's also people in there. This person who's like so mad that they just literally stamped their foot down in front of you is like, while that is a cartoonish display of like rage, that is a person who does not have what they need. And not that you have to like take care of people. Forgiveness is kind of a loaded word for people because it comes with like a lot of religion flavored baggage. Or just like, I'm not going to forgive the people who did bad things to me because they're not sorry.
Right.
But even just having compassion and mercy for the person who's in front of you, that really has nothing to do with you. Because, and there are a lot of roads to get there. Like, maybe when I was a barista, there's this guy who was just the worst with his like, I need a flat white at this temperature, and do you guys even know what a flat white is? Blah 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 blah. And every time I saw him, I was like, this freaking guy.
Yeah.
And then I saw him being nice to a dog outside, and I was like, oh, okay, fine, he's great.
Right.
We're all perfect. But everything is energy. And like in a perfect world, we would be able to immediately like, oh, you're burned out, and there's some inroad to compassion right away. Compassion, empathy, self-love, whatever it is, that is just like this boundless well. But often we get it dirty. We get the leaded version of I'm getting this energy because I'm feeling these feelings about being burned out, because there's something I need to do that I can't, or because there's people are asking things of me that I can't give them, and I have to give them to them anyway, or whatever the wrapping is. Yeah, arriving at a place where you can put that energy into something, whether it's screaming and playing guitar, like that cannot be overstated, that just like playing music in the most chaotic, unhinged way possible. There's a reason that it's like people just gather around it. Like it just sprouts people. I think if all of human history and culture was wiped away right now, music would come back in like 15 minutes on version 2.0. It would be, we'd be like, I don't know how long it would take us to get to like Weird Al, but
right.
I don't think as long as you think.
Probably not. I mean, the accordion is one of the earliest instruments.
And for me, it's like playing rhythm games too, like playing DDR or Guitar Hero, or like just like moving my body, or dancing, God forbid.
In a corner by yourself. Yes.
Doing the
hey, what did I feel like all I talk about, the older I get, all I talk about is sympathy and empathy, and how they both can be good things, but they're so vitally different. And the ability to empathize is, I mean, in my mind, exactly what you're saying. It is that extra step. And
it's falling in love with someone who's like right in front of you for just a little bit, all the way, in like a totally non-attached way, and then letting them go. Like that's empathy. And if that sounds insane, it kind of is.
It is insane, but some people say, can you walk in their shoes, or whatever you need to do to kind of think about that. But that is exactly.
Well, and to bring it kind of full circle, because I think, Matt, we talked about this both in the Dungeon Dudes, how to play D&D with ADHD, as well as in Jenny D's ADHD GM video. The kind of woo-woo journey that I've been on recently is this notion of, I just walk around assuming everything's always working out for me. Yeah. And everyone is doing their best. And especially in those moments when I get really frustrated with somebody I love very, very much, that's when it's hardest, right? I can assume a stranger at the grocery store yelling at a dog is doing their best a lot easier sometimes than I can assume somebody
what
in my
grocery
life.
Stores are you going to?
Number one has a dog. Number two has a dude screaming at the dog. I love it. I want to go there.
I don't know why I bamfed out to dog instead of like person working the register, and I don't know why I made that choice. But
I fucking hate all these, man. There's always people screaming at dogs.
Yeah, I'm a Trader Joe's girly, okay? Anyways, but that notion of just like, but it's harder the better you know somebody, because you know their little quirks, you know, and they're like under your skin. But the switch that just flipped. So I've been on this, like, I'm not saying I'm good at it, by the way. I'm saying I'm working on it. I'm actively.
You're getting better and better all the time.
I'm actively trying, okay, to assume everybody is always doing their best, even when I want to punch them. Violence. I don't ever assume I'm doing my best, though, and maybe that's the point with burnout. Is that, like, as I approach burnout, instead of giving myself that same level of grace and being like, "You're working hard, you're doing lots of stuff," it's all mentally and spiritually and physically exhausting. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep.
Put yourself into your own shoes.
Put myself into my.
Put your shoes on.
Put your shoes on.
Put your freaking. Put shoes
your pants on. It's weird. I've had to ask you twice. Like,
exactly.
But maybe that I should. Maybe that's the burnout bridge that I'm missing, and that's why I can't power down, because I'm too busy being intensely mean to myself. Ooh, God, I love this therapy, y'all.
I know. See,
It's so good.
see. Okay, this is not. This is a little bit of a change of topic, but I was thinking about this as you were saying this, because we are using these podcasts and channels as personal therapy and working through things and learning to empathize and stuff. Do you have a lot of people in your community that are, I was going to put this in such a cool way, but like one thing that we've discovered is ADHD and D&D. Honestly, like, yes, they do go together, but we didn't know that they were going to so well at the beginning. And we now know that we have people that hear the ADHD stuff, but no one seems to be complaining either. Like, do you have people that are like, hey, man, I love when you talk about this thing that I understand, which is ADHD, but could you kind of keep the nerdier stuff away, or vice versa? Or are you finding that it really is just, it is because it's your part of your therapy, then people latch onto it, right? Even when you're talking about D100s or attributes or any other things, or pencils, or Ghibli or something.
Djibouti. Yeah, that's what they kind of say. It's screwing me up because I used to say Ghibli, and then I did the video and I was like, okay, I've got to say Ghibli because that's the right way. And now I'm like, a GIF. Wait, no, it's a GIF.
My eye just started twitching.
Yeah. To answer your question.
Yeah.
So I don't think I get like complaints. The thing that people complain about are like the comments that I get. That I used to have a channel in the Discord that was like the Hall of Clowns, and I would I would like erase people's usernames and put the comments that they said, and it was just a bunch of like.
That's a great idea.
A bunch of shit that was like
the opposite of the smile file.
It's the opposite of the smile file.
Disorders, or like
Yeah.
you don't even. And then like the same people on every video who are like, stop saying D&D when you mean TTRPGs. And I'm like, read about how YouTube analytics work and reaching audiences. Thanks, have a nice day. Actually, hide this user from channel is a cool button. They can't see that you blocked them, and they can keep yapping to their heart's content, and no one but them will ever see it. Anyway, that's my dark twisted secret. But I get, so there's like that flavor of backlash a lot. Is just like people coming in from the D&D side because they clicked on it, or like they saw Jenny D in the thumbnail and they were like, I'm pissed off. I'm going to get angry about safety tools.
Right. It's so real. I know that what we're sounding like sounds like jokes, but it's so real. It really, people do get pissed off about X cards.
They're like, I'm bringing this.
Oh man, today I was on the Daggerheart 1.4 release with Spencer Stark and Matt Mercer, and they were talking about expanding. That was today. They were talking about expanding the ancestries and heritages, and they both commented that they're working with cultural and sensitivity coaches, which is a good thing that we would want to. Yeah. Because everything's based in something, right? Like, I understand that we're creating ribbits over here, and there are actual frog people that we know of. And there were so many comments. I was blown away of like, why do you need a sensitivity coach for made up stuff? And I just
Matt Mercer's gone woke.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, people were like somehow mad that they were saying that they were employing cultural specialists and sensitivity coaches.
Listen, if you're out there right now, if you're mad about this, your favorite fantasy author, if they didn't die in the 90s, also does this. I promise you. It is a part of the publishing process, and it's cool.
And why are you mad at it?
If they didn't die in the 90s, or somehow they squeak by and still teach it.
Or they, maybe they slid past the internet age and then then presented all their opinions. It's oh, wow. I'm like, there are so many authors I'm reading them, and I'm like, I'm glad this person never had a Twitter.
Yes.
What a gift they gave me that I'll never hear a word from them personally. Anyway, so there's like that flavor of backlash. But as far as people being like, I just want to watch a D&D video, I don't want to hear about this ADHD crap, or like, I just want to know about ADHD, I just Don't tell me about challenge ratings and how the math is bad.
Right.
My videos are very poorly disguised, like ADHD lifestyle and writing advice, and the container is Ttrpg. But mostly, the most like that thing I'll ever get, but besides the people who are like, my son's not autistic. It's like, what are you talking about? My stepson, I should say. Is people who are like, I don't play D&D, but here's how I relate to this thing. Or it's like, I don't have ADHD, but here's how I relate to this thing you said. Yeah.
Yes.
May I share a moment of empowerment?
Yes.
I don't think I told you this, Matt. We actually have been #blessed to not get a ton of haterade on our channel so far. We are attracting. That's one thing. Like when we set out for this, we're like, we're going to manifest the type of community we want, and
it will happen. But
it will happen. And I know that the bigger we grow, the more it's going to happen. But we did get a comment on one of our Daggerheart character creation videos last week that said, "Does it have to be so dramatic?" Like. I'm interested in watching, you build a character. Thanks for the information, but I could do without all the side babble. And I had a thought. I was like, okay, I could do a few things here. I can use that little like hide button. I can ignore it and not feed the trolls because that's what everybody's told me to do. But I was standing in my own power in that moment. And so I just very nicely commented back and
killed him.
I said, but what I said, if side quests and a little bit of drama aren't for you, then we're not the channel for you. Have a great day.
Yeah. There is no shortage of Daggerheart coverage in the world right now.
Why?
It is the hot button.
But why do people? But I see that regardless of what type of content. I have a good friend with a massive following over on TikTok about spirituality, and people tell her like, "Oh, you talk too fast," or "Oh, you do this," and like, why do people think that they can tell us, the content creators, how? If you don't like it, go find another content creator who talks slowly or who doesn't talk about ADHD. Or it just boggles my mind.
There is an element of the desire or the need to make a video and work really hard on it and put it out into the world, make a rock album, go on tour with it, blah blah blah, be an actor. That is just, as you said, it's what we're driven to do, and there are a lot of people who don't have that drive, and it I think seeing that drive, like meaning just simply putting something out online, for some people makes them not as human.
Right, you're a product now, and I want this product to be easier to consume. Here's what made it hard for me to consume. Yeah,
right. But it is, you immediately start to meet people that just don't look at you as a human being. Like,
there's also just like, there are a ton of bad faith arguments in a really weird direction, because it's not bad faith of like neglect. It's like bad faith of like, here's all these things that happen to be true that I think you did on purpose to piss me off. I don't have that level of executive function. Yeah,
right.
You're overestimating me here, sir.
But then, I also deal with people with a lot of sensory issues, like a very autism and ADHD friendly space. And so if like 3 people say something about like, oh, this video is too fast. Oh, I don't like the way you did this. Oh, I missed when you did this instead. But 50,000 other people watched the video and liked it.
Right.
I don't listen to those 3 people. But if somebody is like, whoa, this one sound really screwed with my misophonia, and like I had to like pause it. It made me nauseous. I'm like, I can not put those things in there and it won't cost me anything.
Yeah.
So there's like sincere and I think insincere.
Yes.
And then there's like, if you've ever watched an episode of Critical Role live, there's the people who are just like I'm going to catch every rule that they miss, and by God, not only am I going to point it out, but I'm going to say that I could do a better job because I know about variant encumbrance.
Right.
It's like, that's not why what they're doing is good. And if they did do whatever rule better, that wouldn't make the show better. There's like understanding where like work go in here, good result come out here. That means compromise, and often that compromise is like, sorry if you can hear my cat yowling.
Yes.
It is time to hear the song of your people.
It is time.
Coney's probably off doing the same.
He's the most spirited singer in the household. But like, compromising on the things like I'm not gonna say a disclaimer every time I say D&D. I'm not gonna look at the camera and say,
Right.
by the way, I'm also talking about your favorite TTRPG,
Right.
except GURPS. I don't have GURPS beef really. I just bounced off it hard because it was like there's
Not even, man.
it's
I
not
don't
like
know the first thing about GURPS really.
Kendrick
But,
beef. It's like
Oh no! Are we
Couple
Team
months
Kendrick
down.
or Team Drake? No, okay.
Kendrick. Come on. Did you listen to 616 in LA?
Those diss tracks, man. I was at a music festival this weekend, so I actually have not caught up, and people were trying to explain it to me, but I feel like
Welcome to the Beef Cast.
I feel like I should be on Kendrick's side because we, have the whole shared name thing, but
yeah.
I like Drake's music better. There, I said it.
Well,
Are you on the Kendrick side?
hard, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, have you listened to Pimp a Butterfly?
So I have two wrap up questions for you. We're in the speed round now.
Yeah,
One,
speed round.
when are we putting together an ADHD table to all do an actual play together?
That is a wonderful question. The answer, I hope, is as soon as we're
Possible.
all bodily able and have the batteries.
Okay.
And
I
we
love
need to
that.
start thinking about the guest list and who we want to invite to play with us.
Yes.
Start manifesting that. Let's co-conspire and co-create the game of our desires.
Hey, are we talking D&D?
We're open. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can dagger heart it. We can
Shadow
shadow dark
dark.
it.
We can shadow dark it.
We are very, very open to.
We love the shadow dark.
I'm trying to think of a joke to say of like a very not one-shot friendly, intense burning wheel.
So we'll continue chitter chattering. We will get that set up. It will be much fun and much neurodiverse. My second question for you: are you going to any cons this year?
Yes.
I don't think so. Asterisk.
Okay.
I think that like it's not fiscally available to me.
Yeah.
Because I just keep every like red cent I earn goes right back into I'm gonna get this light. I'm gonna his
the lights.
his
Yes.
belly.
Yes.
Their special urinary
in my
care
belly.
food.
Yeah. You're putting that cash back into
but
your
like also things have been pretty good recently, so I don't know. I am due for like a vacation, and I think if I do take my first vacation in 12 years, then it will be probably not YouTube related.
Yeah.
So we will go ahead and plant a couple of seeds if this is of any interest to you,
Yes.
new friend.
I know what
We
you're
will
about to
be
say.
at Gen Con. And we are sowing our own seeds to be at Gamehole Con and PAX
Where's that at?
Unplugged.
Gamehole Con is in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. And I need to tell you that I went by myself last year, and I think it's everything that you want. It is the brainiest panels. Kelsey was there. She was in dozens of panels, just being smart. That's where I played with the dungeon dudes who are also super brainy. It's very small, very cool. Everyone is extremely cool.
Those were my two rapid round questions. I know I stole one from you, Matt.
It's okay. No,
We both wanted to know.
I mean, Skyler, I feel like this is just the beginning of a conversation, honestly. So I'm glad that we know, if not specifically where you live, we know how to reach you because
That wasn't creepy at all, Matt.
I know.
We've established
I didn't
I'm
want
a
it to
nomad.
be creepy.
I don't live anywhere.
Doesn't live anywhere. But yeah, I'm really excited about everything that you're doing, and it's such an honor that for you to join us. And let's be friends. Let's just be friends.
Cass, what do you say?
Cass, what do you think? Please, Cass, it's all riding on you. It's all riding
right.
on you.
Just this one.
Really? Okay. But yeah, this has been so fun, and I know that I know there's a lot more to chitter chat about.
Sure, yeah.
But it really has been awesome to have you,
Yeah.
and thanks for taking as much time as you did. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me and for doing this so
Yeah.
late in the day. I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
the illusion. But it is. in the evening.
Yeah, y'all
Of course.
got nighttime me, which is, a
Yeah.
roll of the dice for how that could go. What Disney song would you like to use to sing us out? It doesn't have to be Disney either.
I don't think it's Disney.
Okay, that's fair. Ready?
I think it's Disney, actually. We come back around to Disney. Yeah. So we'll end this how we began it.
Yeah.
One swing ahead of the sword. I only steal what I can't afford. That's everything.
Let's not be too hasty.
Still, I think he's rather tasty.
Gotta show the beat, gotta eat to live.
Tell you more about it when I got the time.
ADHd20 is a creation from The Pocket Dimension, a multiverse where we explore neurospice
Rolling dice.
and so much more. Come chat with us in our Discord server, open to all. The join link is in our show notes.
Ready to level up your support? Check out the Pocket Dimensions Patreon, where you can get access to bonus content, be the first to hear new episodes, and even play TTRPGs with us and our friends.
The best way you can help us, though, is just to share the gift of ADHd20 with the people that you think will like it.
We love that you're here. Thank you for entering the Pocket Dimension.